Hartson.
It's like everything else, Rob. I think if you're a good player, a great player, then you're going to be talked about, with other clubs. But he's at a global club. He's at a fantastic club, and I think Ange is the type of manager as well. He'd managed in the J League, he's managed his country, but Celtic gave him an opportunity. Celtic gave him this big opportunity to go and manage Celtic. I didn't see any other European clubs going after Ange Postecoglou. Yeah. I didn't see a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, because maybe they didn't know an awful lot about him, maybe not enough about him. But certainly the job that he's done at Celtic with his recruitment, the way that he comes across, humble, doesn't get too carried away with defeats, doesn't get too excited about wins. He just speaks as if the next game is the most important game. Doesn't dwell on poor defensive errors, doesn't dwell on things, doesn't overhype, doesn't actually single individuals out too often. It's about the team, it's about the philosophy, the group. So naturally, he will be impressing a lot of big teams. But listen, from my point of view and from the Celtic fans' point of view and from the Celtic board's point of view, hope that Ange stays. Hope that he stays for the next 3 or 4 years and builds a little dynasty, goes on as another run, as another 2, 3, 4 titles in a row. Celtic are capable of doing that. He wants to improve in Europe as well, because Europe's been poor the last few seasons for Celtic. So he's already said at the back end of going out to Europe this season, the Conference League, the Europa League, all these, 1 or 2 decent performances, but ultimately he wants to be going into the Champions League next season, try and get into the knockout stages, straight into the group stages. What an achievement that would be. But to do that, he's going to need a better quality of player. He knows that more than anybody else. The club know that. The board, the money men, are going to have to back him. He might go to the board and say, look, I want this player. And now on the strength of how well he does, he's almost like he's holding the cards now. He's actually going to the board and saying, I want this player. Back me. You've got to back him. Especially if there's interest in him. You've got to keep your manager, you've got to give him what he wants. And if he's got expectations of himself and the club high expectations, if you want to keep top class managers, you've got to give them what they want. Being realistic, I think Ange is a realistic guy. You can't just go and spend £35 million on a striker. They just physically can't do that. But if he wants to buy Cameron Carter-Vickers for 9 or 10 million, they've got to find the money for him, because they'll have this big massive windfall now if they can win the league this season, which we think they will. The money's there. Got to go and spend it. Give it to the manager. He's already proved up to now he's fantastic in the market. You look at some of the signings that he's made: Jota, Abada, Kyogo. Incredible.
He hasn't had too many fails, has he?
Absolutely. So back him.
Yeah.
And these are the key to keeping your best manager. And Ange has been unbelievable.
Tell Alexa to launch Go Radio or listen on the Go Radio app.